Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump looking into bailing out farmers because of his tariffs. In a news item everybody who was around during the first Trump administration should have known was coming, the effects of Trump's trade policies have damaged farmers so much that the federal government is exploring options for a bailout. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins was talking to the National Association of State Departments of Agriculture at a meeting in Arkansas, where some are suggesting 1 in 3 could go bankrupt, when she said, quote, "We are working with our colleagues in Congress and closely monitoring markets daily to evaluate the amount of additional assistance that might be needed this fall." A spokesperson for Senator John Boozman of Arkansas said the chair of the Senate Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee, quote, is engaging with his colleagues and the administration about the dire circumstances in rural America and the need to provide farmers resources to continue farming. Nothing says successful trade policy quite like dire circumstances in rural America. As we discussed last Wednesday, China still hasn't bought any soybeans as Trump's trade war drags on. Typically, China buys about 1 out of 4 soybeans grown in the U.S. It's incredibly worrying because soybean farmers are seeing an expected increase in average yield per acre. More soybeans with substantially less soybean demand equals farms operating at a loss. We've mainly focused on soybeans on the channel because the data is crystal clear. But it isn't just soybeans. The Vice President of Public Policy at the National Corn Growers Association said, quote, "When our members are in the fields harvesting, they will be staring at a visual representation of this economy and this looming farm crisis. They will be looking at literal piles of corn and other row crops. They don't know where it's going." Farmers are begging for help, but are less than hopeful that Trump will come through for all of them. During his first term, Trump launched a much smaller trade war with China. It was farmers who paid the price. Even though the USDA sent aid to farmers last time, the aid totaled about $23 billion. The problem is that the industry lost about $27 billion just in agricultural exports alone. You don't have to be Warren Buffett to realize that 23 is smaller than 27. Billions of losses were taken by farmers last time, even after the bailouts. Now, Trump just announced record tariff proceeds for August of $29.5 billion. Bailing out farmers is likely to totally erase that windfall, because this trade war is much larger and the Chinese are taking it far more seriously. The bailout to farmers is officially being discussed. Other industries that are taking substantial hits may need bailouts as well. There's some hope that recent movement between China and Trump might lead to a breakthrough, but that's hard to estimate. While many are taking the view of have the harvest you voted for, it's important to remember that the various sectors of our economy don't exist in vacuums. Eventually, we'll all feel the price increases when the old Johnson farm down the road has a sign out front that says, "Old Johnson Farm, a wholly owned subsidiary of Soylent Food Products, Inc." Many farmers are worried that large corporations who can afford the losses under Trump will soon own the dirt they've worked for generations. For some of them, that's almost certainly true. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.